interesting arc to it. All of these poems are featured in open source, the full-length collection that is set to release in fall of this year. And first section is mostly poems about Philly. So this is Philadelphia poem. You don't have to fear losing a city if you are one. The new ribbit of the key card station is instantly a token imprint. The eagle shades leaning heather again. Every hole in the block is a house full of memory. My ghost lives on that balcony still in the back of my head, last administration, and before the crack vials popped again under my mountain bike tires. My underchin is smooth on the entrance of the porch. The wrought iron only feels realer crumbling under my hands like a fall bark. My mom and dad are still beautiful. The hood is still punk, and everything is exactly the same as pineapple taste and evergreen stank and the sun. It is beautiful out, and the people still screw face when you look in too long. It spooks me how now the only answer left is to beatbox and whistle my moment song to the trolley stop. And if you want to keep hitting your kid for dancing too hard, I just got to leave that one with God. I miss New York street performers, and that's about it. When it cracks 80 at rush hour for the first time in months and the underground sweats, the fades are fresher and the university walks clamor with pastel aviator glasses and everclear fumes. I still wear black, light jackets. Patent leather looks right to me. It's only mid-April. There's still time. So either tomorrow or the day after is the anniversary of the first day of lockdown. So this was a poem, one of the few poems that I wrote to completion last year. And it was written on the first day of lockdown, and it's called The First Day of Lockdown. The roar of the motorcycle gangs is the best way to divide the day's beats, their faces black with masks hiding from the breeze. Meanwhile, a boy yells at the air ahead of him on a wobbly bike. All the few walkers, all in the confused outerwear, shuffle as if there's nowhere to go because there's not. It would be unseasonably warm if seasons existed. Winter now a loose collection of harvest stories jutting against the black ink of an arbitrary Wednesday. Time isn't a thing today as the phones lie still and my echo finds its connection to the cloud blocked behind a red warning ring. In my backyard between Newport puffs, my eyes settle on the oldest tree I've ever seen in the hood, a craggy shit brown fractal of ivy covered fingers etched inside the dividing line of an even older chain link fence. Smoking is my only vice today, but the worst, letting my lungs shunt against a strange particulate of grain as the one unwashed surface chance says I will miss waits for my touch. This is the poem that is in Best American Poetry this year, which I got notice from just through a random Facebook Messenger message from somebody that I'd never met before, just saying that they had good news. So, and to give them my email. So I did, and that was cool, super cool. I actually wrote this poem in a workshop that Sonia Sanchez was hosting back when Sonia Sanchez was the poet laureate of Philadelphia. And it started from a prompt that she gave of a photograph that she found at a yard sale. It's called Meditations on a Photograph of Historic Rail Women. Number 2 from the right was an angry drunk. Number 1 from the left always held the face of a dead cousin in her left pocket. The third woman placed fourth in a seed-spitting contest at age 6. The first one knew she was the prettiest. The fifth didn't need to know. The child belonging to the one on the far right worked in a general store as a bag boy. The first daughter was too rough looking. She lived to be 61. The second woman had no children. She spent 5 minutes picking the right shovel. It was black as her hands. This was not the first time she swung metal things from the waist. The first woman's head wrap was a dish rag she grabbed just before leaving. The second woman's head wrap was a gift from a long dead suitor. The center woman's head wrap was a prop. The second from the left quit 2 days in. The first preferred to use a wrench. The center woman got the second to do her work for her. The first wouldn't stop for all the money in the world. Right from the center's brother was a saint who shot himself last year. The fourth girl from the right gave up on God a long time ago. The fifth girl was a woman by the time she was 13. The fifth from the other side decided she would never grow up as soon as the papers were signed. I think the second had money saved, but had something to prove. The fourth looked like a Virgo. The second woman was raped. The first woman was raped. At least 3 were raped, and during the interview, 4 said they once knew true love. A white woman slapped 2 for being insolent. The middle lady shot a nigga. The last woman fondled her cousin when she was young. Is that the same cousin who died? Is the last woman dead? My grandmother is 86. I have no pictures of her, but I do know her name. Her name is Ruth. She loves God more than life and calls young black men monsters every time I come. She grew up on a Virginian farm. She is separated from, but on good terms with my granddad. My granddad's name is Sonny. My granddad can't read. He would look hard at the caption for this photo of nameless women and say, "I'm sorry, Warren, I don't have my glasses on me. Why don't you just tell me what it says?" The perfect lawn. Hell is learning we always lived in paradise. Tending the perfect lawn, Kentucky blue and even, halting any weed green, launching imperfectly, spread science on it until it's a sea of concrete between chain link fence. Hope is raking the last leaf, looking out at your reef made of man, the ground gurgling pleasure into your exposed soul for a weekend. Say a name more perfect than home, safe, clean, controlled, and I will tell you who to kill. Blackmail. When a black man wins, it's an incredible impossible. An introduction to a previously unseen door that should, in fact, be a hallway overflowing with white women if this, in fact, were a just world. When a black man fails, my sister tells me about niggers on the phone through a half smirk. Black Twitter intones the biblical curse again, and America sighs into its work week, knowing the demon by name. When a black man lives, he's not a black man, he's a book. He's his mama's gem, and thank God he married well. The idea of a success is a failure in an art piece made out of shit. When a black man dies, I get coffee. They toss so much ash in the air, everyone becomes black for a month. My hood is West Virginia. Everyone knew when the t-shirts fade, that deadbeat nigga was no saint. This poem's called Fuckboy. My friend loved just breathing in the bathhouse, with long meandering weave of thoughts while a lonely man moaned lost into the linoleum. I bought him earrings made of black lava stone, one of my first Christmas gifts, and that was not until I was 33. Small penises are such tender thumbs. He wouldn't kiss me in the bar we were regulars at, and he's the gay one. I've given up on believing there's order to the world. We both want black women and kids. I experimented because that's what black men are, an experiment in trust. He loves black men. I lean over him in Texas, watching the build of his joy. I felt like such a slut, feeling everyone should come, not by me necessarily, but at least I want to know about it, that everyone ruptures someday, build in the disappearing of this harsh view of the world, Sunday light, unconscious, toothy smile. Byhood 2. Pressing chunks of scab into toy microscope slides is a kind of sexuality. Lust as, in a body, what can a body do? A body is the only skin it is safe for me to touch. Don't look with lust, cause wanting in your heart is when the innocence flakes off your frame in chunks. Instead, look at yourself. My body evolved into a trigger that springs back funny. I noticed too early, it became a symbol and then a scary way to measure time. If you see me wilt avocado green and it looks nice, there's a point you can push in my bowels where a switch flips soft, milky gray. Leading is nice, but loose drool on a warm baby cheek is a sweet place for a Black boy to sleep. The dream where I'm a house mouse blessed with a stockpile of toasted crumbs nooked behind a small crown molding. Plump rodent pet twitch, clever nuisance, nuiceless and too cute for any evil consequence for approaching a stranger and saying yes. And one, maybe two, we'll see. I'll do this. This is Postmortem. You don't have to look good. No, I'm not gonna do this one. I'm gonna do this one. This is my last one. And this is the Tuesday I finally gave up. Mrs. Mary's bony shoulder tints a faded tee and rosary beads. Waves slow, my head cranes soft, turning at mid-asphalt from the perch of my corner porch. Oh, my still uncolonized street. Her grandbabies bounce unhurried and teetering. I weave on a single gear towards the park. The masked readers there crowd in distant pairs, and someone in the bowl of grass to the south might fly a kite. I've seen it once on a walk. I'm teaching online full-time now to a gaggle of Midwestern adults. Since the start of class, 3 funerals and 2 babies born. I shout out if I'm clear through Bluetooth buds and the gallery of faces blink on and raise their thumbs. I play Afrobeat between lecture notes. I play the drums today. Today, I didn't think about my ex. Being single doesn't kill you and the sun doesn't know anything. There's still whiskey to kill. A friend I cry over, I'm so grateful, posted a square composition of sidewalk 3 minutes ago on the gram, and it is asymmetrical, intrinsic, and God as any idle, untamable weed. Thank you.